It's time now to bring in our next guest, who just announced a partnership with CoinDesk Indices and spoke yesterday here at Consensus Hong Kong. Jennifer Ilkiw is the president of ICE Futures US. Jennifer, great to have you here.
Sam, really good to be here. Dave, it's fantastic to be here.
I'm a little disappointed with all the social cuts that, Jen, our segment yesterday didn't make it,
Yeah,
I'm a little,
I was thinking,
you know what?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to find something around here. Anyway, we spent a bunch of time yesterday together. We were at a derivatives roundtable together. We announced the partnership that we have together. Yeah. We sat on a derivatives panel. All of those were incredibly well attended. But what did we actually announce, Jen?
Well, we announced that we are launching a number of new futures contracts on ICE Futures US. It's our first foray back into the crypto markets. We were in the crypto markets in 2018 first when we started with Bakkt, but we pulled back because we really didn't feel that the market was ready. So we're launching some single token cryptocurrency future contracts. So that's BNB, Solana, ETH, Ripple, and Bitcoin. And that we're really excited about is two multi-token futures contracts, and that's the CoinDesk 5 and the CoinDesk 20.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, you mentioned 2018 you were in.
Yeah.
You kind of pulled back. What is, in your opinion, different between 18 and 26 that allows you to feel comfortable coming back in?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think for us, a lot of it is a regulatory change within the US. The administration, putting in the Genius Act and working through the Clarity Act, has really given a lot more regulatory comfort to everyone in the market. We're seeing banks that are really starting to get in and get a little bit more comfortable with offering clients futures in crypto. We had a lot of pushback from that in the early stages.
I mean, ICE has made a major push into crypto beyond just this. This is one segment. Obviously, I think it was pretty well documented in the media about the investment made into Polymarket. I know you've been adding senior staff to focus on this.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that philosophy and how you're trying to integrate every segment of your business into crypto.
So ICE looks a lot of these things as compliant innovation. We believe a lot in regulation, and we know we need to follow that. And so this is why we're really coming into the crypto market at this space. One of the things we're also doing with the New York Stock Exchange, which you may have seen, is tokenized securities. And that's an incredible new area where we're going in, where we're allowing people to offer, where we can offer fragmented share purchases through tokens. You will end up being able to work on the blockchain so you can have immediate settlement, so somebody can buy part of a share, sell it an hour, 2 hours later, make a little bit of money, and either use that in the economy or use that to buy more tokenized securities. So it's a really exciting part of it. And then you talked about our interest in Polymarkets and our investment there. Trying to understand their technology and their blockchain technology is really important, but also you may have seen we've announced a data relationship with them, where we'll get a lot of their sentiment data and we'll be putting it out through our data company.
So one of the things that we've talked about throughout the course of the segments here and also across the convention center floor is this convergence of TradFi, meeting crypto. I think in the future we all kind of agree that you're not going to have crypto markets and TradFi markets. You're going to have markets. And I think one of the things that you and I really actually champion together is this. You call it a concept of thoughtful innovation or innovating in a compliant manner. I mean, you have to have transparency, you have to have trust, you have to have compliant frameworks. And I think that's why this partnership that we've actually put together makes so much sense, because philosophically, as we think about how we're going to grow our businesses, it's all on that pillar of institutional trust. If we don't build our markets for institutions, it's not going to get mass adoption and mass scale. So maybe talk a little bit about how you guys think about that.
Yeah, so for us, we're a company, as an exchange, been here for over 2 decades. And we really see that you need to have infrastructure that, as we've talked about, trust, you've got neutral, and it can work in any type of market environment. And we want to work with the best index providers, so CoinDesk being one of them. They're IOSCO compliant. People trust them. So working with companies like that means that we can have compliant and trustworthy data providers when we launch a futures contract, and then everyone will be able to get price discovery and transparency when it comes to that. And I think there's a lot of things that we do together that are very symbiotic in that way.
As someone who's not as sophisticated as either of you in the world of this type of investing.
Sam, you have your sophistication, okay?
It's in other places. But to the average person, why a future versus just buying a spot price?
Oh, that's a very good. Well, first of all, ICE Futures US, we are regulated as a futures. Spot crypto is still being looked at and figuring out how to be regulated in the US space. So we're really, like we're saying, staying with compliant innovation. We also have so much history in the future space, and people believe and trust us. So staying within that space is incredibly important. Secondly, institutional players tend to focus a lot more on futures, and we are really looking at, in the beginning, pulling in that institutional volume, and that's why having these multi-token indices are so important. We've almost had a call to arms or a call request from clients who want to do something beyond just Bitcoin. And they love the idea. They look at MSCI emerging markets and other multi-token or multi-cash equity indices, and we're copying that same model.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you realize, we think about crypto investing as Dave LaValle or Sam Ewen or Jen Ilkiw, but the institutional adoption is going to necessitate some of the levers that currently exist in TradFi markets. And when I talk about building a high quality index business, I talk about ensuring that we're building a liquidity ecosystem that allows risk management to happen in the same way that risk management happens in traditional financial markets. And so the opportunity to have a future that has a dated expiry and to be able to utilize that as a risk management tool against your inventories elsewhere is exactly what we need to do. We need spot markets that are efficient and well regulated and operating appropriately. You need futures markets, you need options markets, and on the back of that, you're going to have listed derivative markets that are going to grow. Banks are going to be able to kind of create products that are based upon futures or the listed derivatives or the spot market. You've got ETFs coming, you've got options on ETFs. I mean, all of this coming together is going to increase the liquidity, increase the interoperability, and that's going to result in tighter spreads and a more efficient access to the market by every single participant, whether that's self-directed retail investor all the way to the largest institutions of the world. Institutional adoption, and I'll turn it over to you in one second, is about pensions, endowments, foundations, insurance companies. This is a whole asset class that is being developed, and those players have not yet really entered because they don't have the tools to do it with confidence.
Yeah, and I think we had a discussion yesterday when we were on our panel that a lot of players were still just looking at Bitcoin. And we're really starting to see that change, especially with the immersion of ETFs that are beyond Bitcoin. So they're seeing the need for ETH and other different products out there. And we have CoinDesk is working with 3 different ETF providers. So we have the CoinDesk 5, which is listed on Grayscale. We have the CoinDesk 20, which is listed already on ProShares and will be coming out on ARK Invest.
I will just say that ProShares has had some recent creates, so it's getting a little bit of adoption. Not even being out in market in the US for
not even a week.
A week.
Yeah.
So super exciting development.
I want to just say congratulations to both of you on the announcement.
I know it is.
Jennifer,
great.
thank you so much for being here.